I'm falling for a stripper. Have you ever fallen for someone completely unexpected? Maybe someone whose life was so different from your own that it seemed impossible to connect, but then it happened anyway? Here's a shocking state. Nearly 1 in 4 unconventional relationships face societal judgment. Yet, those same couples report higher levels of emotional intimacy. That stat hit home for me because, well, I'm falling for a stripper. And trust me, this story is wild. Before you jump to conclusions, let me set the stage. This isn't some flashy Hollywood fantasy or a what happens in Vegas kind of tale. This is raw, real, and complicated. I'm about to take you through the roller coaster ride of falling for someone in the adult entertainment industry. Buckle up, it's a ride you won't forget. It all started one night when a group of friends dragged me to a club. It wasn't my scene, honestly, but I went along because I didn't want to be the buzzkill. Walking in, I was hit by the neon lights, pounding music, and the surreal atmosphere. It felt like stepping into another world. Then, I saw her. Let's call her Bella. She had this magnetic energy, like she owned the room, but didn't care for the spotlight. When she danced, it wasn't just a routine, it was an art form. I was spellbound, completely unable to look away. But here's the catch. How do you navigate these deep feelings for someone whose job thrives on mystery and allure? And then there's society. You can't exactly break the ice at family dinners with, "So I'm dating a stripper." The cringes would be real. Beyond that, I found myself wrestling with insecurities I didn't even know I had. Could I truly handle it? Was I even ready for this? After one of her sets, Bella and I started talking, and what surprised me most was her incredible wit and depth. She had this dry sense of humor that caught me off guard, and we clicked instantly. Over time, I learned more about her, the real her. Bella wasn't just a stripper. She was a person with dreams and struggles. She loved photography, collected vintage records, and her laughter could fill a room. We began texting and hanging out in the real world, where we'd share pizza and get lost in endless conversations. One night, we found ourselves at a dive bar, and she ended up singing karaoke. Let's just say, her pitch was as questionable as my ability to dance. But it was the most fun I'd had in years. However, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. The closer we grew, the more questions bubbled up. Could I truly handle her job? Would I always be left wondering what went down at work? And what about the judgment from everyone around us? These thoughts loomed in my mind, but somehow, my feelings for Bella kept growing stronger. The turning point arrived one night after her shift. We were sitting in her car, and she opened up about her life in a way she never had before. She talked about how she got into dancing, the hardships she'd faced, and her fears about letting people get close. Then she looked straight at me and said, "You're different. I don't let people in, but you've made me feel safe." In that moment, something clicked inside me. It wasn't about her job or what anyone else thought. It was about who she was and how she made me feel. I found myself saying that I wanted to try to see where this could actually go. But let me be clear, that moment didn't erase the challenges we faced. It was just the beginning, a starting point in this complex journey. The weeks that followed were a wild blend of highs and lows. Bella and I learned how to navigate our different worlds together. I won't lie, there were times I struggled. Watching her head off to work, knowing what her job entailed, made me question everything we built. But then she'd come home, and we'd dive into long conversations that reminded me of why I fell for her in the first place. One of the hardest moments came when a mutual acquaintance found out about us and made a snide comment. It hit me harder than I expected, and I began doubting whether we could make it work. But Bella reminded me that true relationships are defined by the people in them, not by the outsiders looking in. Over time, I started seeing her job not as some defining characteristic, but rather as one piece of a vibrant puzzle that made her who she was. Through her, I learned to confront my insecurities and biases. Love, I realized, isn't about fitting neatly into a category. It's about connection, understanding, and mutual growth. Falling for Bella taught me more about love, resilience, and myself than I ever anticipated. It wasn't the path I thought I'd take, but sometimes the unexpected journeys lead to the most profound lessons. Love doesn't fit neatly into a box, and that's precisely what makes it beautiful. What about you? Have you ever fallen for someone completely unexpected? I want to hear your stories. Drop them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button and check out my other videos on relationships and life lessons. Let's keep this conversation going.